Hi, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this program. I am Chris St. Hilaire, and I'm here with Master Chang, someone who I've known for 28 years. Met him in Long Beach, knocked on his monastery late at night, and he was kind enough to let me in. I've known him ever since, and he is my master, my guru, my shifu, and we've been meditating every morning for, gosh, I'm going on 2 years now, and I get the honor of interviewing you here today. So, starting just from the basics, can you talk to me a little bit about bringing Buddhism to the West, and why you came over, and what your mission is here?
Good to start with why I'm here. I wasn't here by choice, but actually by choice, because I'm the refugee. I came to this country in 1980, and at that time I escaped my country, right? Escaped communism, so I come on boat, a boat person, and come to America. But that you can say is by choice. But to be a monk is quite interesting, because I'm not sure that I am ready to be a monk yet at the age of 20.
So, were you a monk when you first came over?
When I was in Vietnam, I wasn't a monk. I just a regular student. But I come and I met Master Chang, a Chinese, and he woke me up, and he said that you should be a monk because you have been with me many lifetimes. Now I have no proof how he knew it. The only proof that when he met me, he asked the very first thing, no instruction, he asked, did you practice this practice number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 when you was in Vietnam? Mm-hmm. And I was shocked, because those practices are pretty much exactly the order that I learned.
So you were learning Buddhism while you were in
as
Vietnam.
a layman, as a young boy, right? And these practices are very specific, because Buddhism they call 84,000 practices. But who would know among the 84,000 that exactly the order and the practice? For example, now you learn the sun meditation, the moon essence. Even the name is very specific, right? Sun essence, moon essence, lotus essence, lotus flowers. It's very specific. But how would he figure that out without anybody telling him?
You mentioned, though, that he woke you up. What do you mean by that?
I don't think anybody else talked to him and let him know of my practice. I never shared that. I just simply a boy go to college. So he is a founder of a college named Dharma Buddhist University up in north of San Francisco, in Talmadge, very small town. So he wouldn't even know my name or how to pronounce my Vietnamese name. How would he knew whatever I practiced in the past, right? But that caught my attention, and I immediately agreed. Yeah, sure. I want to. If you knew my past life, so maybe I should be a monk. That's why I became a monk.
But you weren't awake. I've got to understand that. You said he woke you up. Were you sleeping before? I mean,
yes,
explain that quickly.
I'm pretty sleepy, meaning I don't know. I did not know. What should I do? What should I not do? I was accepted to Rutgers University as the student major in chemical engineering. So I didn't think about become a monk. I don't, none of it. But then when I first got in, I haven't finished anything yet. This is the very beginning of getting acceptance letter and went to visit the school.
To Rutgers.
Rutgers in New Jersey, right? Camden.
Sure.
Yeah. But this very early stage of being a freshman, not even have anything that I can claim that I finished any courses. And then, but I was at the library and opened up one of the book and then leading one to the other, and I saw a little tiny magazine. It's called Vajra Bodhisi. Even the name is weird, right? But I read it and I was crying, because I thought, this is very familiar. The theme and the topic is about life, and it's about how we can change ourselves. Simple things, change the mind. But that caught my attention. And then some of the Chinese words I can read. And because of that, I decided that I should change my topic.
So did you attend a lecture with your master, your shifu, or did you You just read that and you were
I read that.
sold.
I read that, and I changed. And actually, I went to talk to the dean of this chemical engineering department. Asked him that, can I change? I remember the conversation. He said, "You haven't got anywhere yet, and you have." He looked at my that I don't think that profile, but the file.
Your resume, sure.
The file. You know, I just got in a few pieces of paper, and he said, "Well, you have a scholarship here. You want to throw that scholarship away?" And I said, "But I don't know what to do. And my English very poor, not fluent yet." And I said, "No, I like to go to this." And he looked at the university and all the document I gave to him. "Are you sure?" He said, "I'm not sure, but I like to." So he finally he said, "Well, when you follow your heart, it's fine." He sort of dismissing me because I don't think I explained myself very clearly at that time, 20 years old. So anyway, but he's encouraged me and shook my hand, and I left. So I thought that is quite amazing. It's a very early age, and I haven't really got into a freshman courses, taking any course and doing any of this yet. So I packed up and I changed. I went to California from New Jersey.
You just made the decision and went for it.
I went for it.
So they say in Buddhism, when you are ready, a teacher appears. Do you believe that's what happened to you, or?
That may be that happened to me. Yeah, and I just got in, and the students, until maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I met the master, and the master said, "Hey, you was my student for many lifetimes. Just get on with it." So that's probably it really something that I cannot change. And you ask me, is this by choice? I don't know that's the choice I made, but I stick with it for 40 years now.
You're still deciding what you want to do for a living?
Not for a living, but for my spiritual mission. Yeah. So that's 1982. I became a monk and ordained as a monk in 1982. Went into the monastery in 1981. Became a fully ordained in 1982, and I stayed there until now. So 2002. That's 40 years. Exactly 40 years.
So if we're getting more and more competition for attention, right? It's an advertising world. So we're surrounded by someone looking for our attention, whether it's your shirt or the branding on your shoes or advertising billboards or television or your smartphone. It's everywhere.
Big temple, small temple.
And so the competition for attention.
Right.
So if you had to say you had a 20 seconds to tell me what Buddhism is at its core, at its essence, what would you say?
In 20 seconds, what is Buddhism? The essence of Buddhism is the inner light. That's it. Less than 20 seconds now. That was develop that's inner lights. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the inner light? Tell me.
How many seconds I have?
You have more than 20.
This inner light bring you peace, bring you clarity, and especially it give you the clarity, the lucidity, the lucid view about what you want to be in life. A lot of time, I think we bombarded with so many informations, with so many things that we forgot what we're supposed to be doing, and the mission, the clarity of what we should do, what we are. I think that clarity is very important for at least for me. I came from the background as a Vietnamese, come from the country, which poor country, come to this, have a culture shock. And then from that culture shock, I had spiritual shock where suddenly, hey, you have a past life. What? A past life? That's something very different from our view, right? And then as I go on and practice, I see clearer and clearer, and I see that it's not abundances that I need to have, but the clarity. Sometimes we're looking for abundancy, more, the better, right? But the clarity of who I am and the inner peace that we call the inner light, it becomes very, very important. And Buddhism not only talk about how you can build your inner life, a richer inner life, but also how to share that inner life to others. How make life not only simple, because simple is not the right word, but rich with the lights, the illumination, the lights. So that's pretty much in a nutshell.
Define light, though. So we talked about light, and light means clarity, if I'm hearing you.
Enlighten,
So do you think that most people have clarity, lack clarity, are seeking clarity? Has Buddhism brought you clarity? Will you build upon that for me a little bit?
Sure. For example, your son come to you and ask, okay, Dad, I want to go to this college. You ask why, right? When you ask why, you ask for clarity, because your son would like to be in pursue this career because he want to be rich, he want to be happy, he want to be what? So clarity brings the right answer. And there's levels of clarity. It's not only one answer, but many answers. But the more you dig deeper, you see more fulfilling, because your son will say, oh, I want to go so I can be a movie star. And you ask, why you want to be a movie star? Oh, I want to have more money. Why do you have more money? So you dig up into the why, and slowly you reach to the conclusion that, hey, the reason why you go to college is simply because you want to unfold what's the best inside of you. So that's called clarity. So Buddhism basically doesn't have an answer, but give you the methodology to find the answer. But keep asking why and keeping deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you let the water flow, right? The water will flow to the very depth of it. And I'm not quoting the Buddhists now. I'm quoting Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching, the very ancient text 5,000 years ago, it said that the highest goodness is like water. You keep flowing to the very depth of things, the depth of consciousness. So Buddhism basically say, hey, you're not seeking something outside, and there's no one single path. It's how you get to the depth of your consciousness. And from there, you get, in the process of going deeper and deeper, you become clearer and clearer and clearer.
So, and as you become clear,
Yes.
what is it, as you've become clear, what do you think, or as we seek clarity, you said college is one path to that, but you left college and you went to find a different kind of clarity,
okay, different
correct?
clarity. Yes, right.
So talk to me about that spiritual clarity, that Buddhist clarity, its essence, what you
The
believe.
spiritual clarity maybe have four aspects. The first aspect that we always talk about, who am I? And that I get into the who am I, the I become more and more elusive. The I is not the ego anymore, but the pervasive and boundless kind of lights, meaning it become compassion, it become kindness, it become forgiveness. So that's the first question about the clarity about who am I. But the second clarity is where's my home? And I think every day you drive to work and you go back to your home, not your house. But that is something that every one of us, you can always ask someone, you talk to someone, you say, oh, where do you stay? Where do you live? We ask that question all the time. Home. We're always thinking about home all the time. The whole day you do anything, you come back to home. And so the second clarity is about home. How do you define home? And Buddhist doesn't tell you there's only one home, but how do you get to there? How do you define? Maybe the first home may be the inner peace. But you dig deeper and deeper, you realize that, well, that inner peace maybe have layers, like being still, being very serene, and being very profound. So, but you can start to understand that, okay, what is spirituality? The clarity is, who am I? But where do I stay? Where's my home? So we actually had a meditation called I'm home meditation, when you really go into what you define as home. And you see, so interestingly, a lot of people, they don't find home, because when they go home, they're fighting with their family, and they hold the phone all the time. They don't see their home anymore, right? It's a define. But the Buddhist doesn't say that's wrong. Buddhists say, well, keep digging, keep going deeper. So, and the third thing is about the mission. The mission is very, very interesting because every one of us seems to have a path where we go. And that path is defined as the mission, something you dedicate your life to. And no one's right and wrong, but some paths get you to be more fulfilled than the other path. And some paths get deeper than the other. So as a Buddhist, everyone will have a mission. Everyone will find a path. So what is your path? You start to see the clarity, right? So the path is to see more and deeper and clearer. But it doesn't tell you that you must have this path. It doesn't say that. It says, hey, look at your path. Go deeper. Hey, what's your home? Go deeper. Hey, who are you? Go deeper. So you have the home, you have the path, you have the I am, and the last thing, what do you do? And you see, this 4 questions is all you always ask. When you meet someone, you have, hey, who are you? What are you? Well, what do you work? Or where you live? What do you do? And you always try to find, okay, what's your passion, meaning your path? So the last question, and what do you do, is very important. Your skill set, your work. And these 4 questions we always ask. When we meet someone, we always ask, hey, how are you? How are you? Meaning the I. And then, oh, where do you work? Oh, where do you live? Okay. And finally, instead of say, what's your mission? We say, yeah, share with me your passion. What do you do for hobby, for all that? That is all about your path. And so, as a Buddhist, we don't have this prejudice against anyone and anything. We just say, hey, let's go deeper. Let's keep going like the water. Okay, so, and that is most interesting about Buddhism, that it doesn't have a boundary. It's a process. You keep going forever. It's not like, all right, there's only one fixed thing that you do. But it's a process that you keep doing forever to the end of time. There's no ending to it.
Different, more depth, more levels of consciousness.
Exactly. You keep unfold level of consciousness forever.
So from a Western perspective, we ask these basic questions. Are you where do you live? What do you do? You're asking them those very basic questions, but from a spiritual perspective, so that you can find your own home. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Well, not find your own home, but your own home have richer meaning, richer depth. The same word, home, the same kind of work. For example, you say, okay, I'm going to work, go to a company and do this. But let's think about, really, is that the work that you do for your spirit? Maybe it's not. Maybe you just that the work you do for others. But as you do for others, can you have different skill set to be more meaningful? Because maybe you not just work for something, but you had different skill, like raising your children, like bringing joy to the people around you. That's different skill set.
So speaking, I know we're about out of time for this installment. Mm-hmm. I wanted to dig in next time to the Buddhist view on suffering.
Okay.
And how you've talked to me about that may not be the most accurate English translation. Okay. I want to talk about that. So in the next installment, we can, if you're interested to continue, we want to keep these perspectives short. We know everyone's busy, but you're always free to continue to tune in, and we hope you do, where we'll talk a little bit about the Buddhist feeling on suffering.